Oh man, so when they announced the new Glenda figure for the Haslab, before I even knew what it was, what the reveal was, as I was getting ready for work, my buddy who lives in a different time zone hit me up, and he texted me and he said, "Glenda?" question mark, and I replied, "The Good Witch?" Yes, and yes, that's a Wizard of Oz reference for people who aren't familiar. And yes, that does show my age. And no, I'm not that old, but yes, that has been watched many times in my house. My kids freaking love that movie for some reason. So does my wife. So yeah, Glenda. Okay, cool. First off, I just want to throw out a little public service announcement. To all the groups out there, all the G.I. Joe groups, can we please stop with the bashing of people who don't know who this is? Number one, there are probably for every 1,000 people in a group, there's probably somewhere between 10 and 30 people who actually know the lore of any given subject, point for point. Like, you know, there's those 30 people that know G.I. Joe lore like a Muslim knows the Quran, like a priest knows the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's like 10 to 30 people. And then there's like the other 200 people that get on the comments and are just like, "Oh, you don't know who Glenda is? You're not a real fan. You don't know anything. Blah, 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 blah." And they're such pathetic plagiarists. They don't even have the common decency to reorder the stuff that they wrote in the comments that they stole from like a Wikipedia page or something like that. They don't even have the decency to rewrite it even a little bit. So literally you go inside the comments and there's basically the same comment over and over and over and over and over again from these freaking plagiarists. So please stop. You're not bright. You're not smart. You didn't know who this character was either. You just went, as soon as you saw that, you ran to Wikipedia or wherever you ran to, got your information and copy paste, and then you want to feel holier than thou. You're not. You're an idiot. Stop it. Moving on. Glenda. Okay. Real quick. I don't care. Looks cool. I'm still planning on backing this project. That's not going to change anything for me. But I have a few problems with this. From just a technical standpoint. Here's my thing. Number one, very deep in the lore to know who this character is. And I feel like that doesn't move the needle. Haslab, you're supposed to show things to move the needle. I figured they would have learned from the mistakes with the Hiss tank, where they literally had a tier where they just had a canopy cover and some side skirt things. That was literally a tier. I figured they would have learned from that and tried not to roll the dice with something that people can't really get a hold of in their mind is, why is this a tier for this amount of money? But like, the figure looks cool and all, but I have my beef is with this, that one is that this should be a store exclusive. This should be what the Cobra Eels were. The Cobra Eels should have been a mainline release. Glenda should have been a store exclusive. That, to me, that makes more sense. To me, that makes more sense, because then you know, she's a deep cut character. She's way out there, and people can decide, like with Kamakura, do I want to buy this character? Nah, maybe not. Do I care about this character? Nah, maybe not. But give us that option. Like, making this a numbered character on a Haslab just doesn't jive with me, because this is not for a Haslab. This doesn't even make sense. I mean, people were like, they saw that and they were just like, yeah, I'm out. They just kind of were like, well, they're not taking this seriously. I'm out. But the point of this video is that the entire community, everyone's been saying the same exact thing. Well, they're just going to take this Glenda figure and they're going to give us a Classic Scarlet. So then what's the point of the Haslab? See, okay, understand, the Haslab is supposed to be an exclusive experience. Like, you buy the Haslab, you're under the impression that I'm paying X amount of dollars for exclusive tooling that is never going to be done again. A la Unicron, a la the Sentinel, Galactus, so on and so forth. You're never going to see these things again because they're exclusive. Now, if they're not exclusive and they're just going to recolor Scarlet, or as people are predicting in all the forums, all the His Tank characters, they're just going to redo the Tactician, they're going to redo the Engineer, whatever the other ones were, they're just going to redo them, then what's the point of buying the His Tank if you just want the figures, right? If they're just going to redo the Cobra Commander that came with the His Tank, the retro car Cobra Commander, and just change the emblem on his chest and make it the real Cobra symbol, not the mistake quote unquote Mickey Mouse symbol, then what's the point of buying the His Tank? What's the point of that? Like, if you're a completionist, you bought the His Tank just to get the next set of numbered figures, those 3 numbered figures. You went into it for that. If you're a casual fan and you just want to collect figures, you went into it thinking, hey, I get a tank and the figures. But here's my point. If they're just going to reuse the tooling for all of these, think about it like this. His Tank, $300, right? You figure $100 for the 4 figures, and let's just say, to make the math easy, $50 for the accessories. Let's just use that. Let's just go with that for a second. Okay. So if they're going to redo the figures and you don't really care for the tank, or the tank's just going to take up too much space, or you're probably just going to leave it in a box and never touch it again, what was the point of the other $200 for the accessories and the tank if you just wanted the figures? What was the point? If they're just going to retool it, all you have to do, if the His Tank's so the His Tank's coming out this year, so 2023, so you're saying by 2024, 2025, we're just going to get the same figures over again? That to me is, that's grimy, because you gave us the expectation that these were going to be these were going to be exclusive figures. So if you're going to take Glenda, throw her in the Haslab, and then turn around and give us the same exact body with a slightly different coloring, and say it's Scarlet, then what's the point of buying the Haslab? What's the point? I can just wait for Scarlet. If you're just going to retool Wild Bill and make him a different color, give him a different color vest and everything, make him the animated version of a Wild Bill, then what's the point of buying the helicopter? What's the point of buying a Dragonfly if I'm just going to get him 2 years down the road? Right? Am I right? Am I wrong? What's the point of buying a His Tank if I know next year or the year after, I'm going to be able to get the Cobra Commander retro carded, same exact figure, just a different color? Why? What's the point? And what really hurts my soul is that the community is perfectly fine with this. They're perfectly fine with them retooling this to get the Scarlet. My thing is, why isn't the Scarlet in here to begin with? That would be smarter. That would move the needle. That would have got fan enthusiasm. That would have got excitement going, instead of it just kind of crawling along as it has been. I mean, granted, take away the early bird, remove the early bird. Even if you remove the early bird, you drop, instead of saying Glenda, you say Scarlet, and you show her in the same outfit, different haircut, or different hair color. You do that, and this thing is moving. Or the third tier, like some people are predicting it's going to be General Hawk. Let's say it is. That moves units. These are figures that move units. Don't go somewhere out there and use that to try to move units, because it's not. Honestly, it's slow crawling again. It's just kind of I feel like if the last tier is Hawk, General Hawk, yes, this will definitely get to 19 or 20,000. Right now, I don't think that's enough to move the needle, especially when I know they're just going to make a Scarlet. down the road. I don't need what. Why am I worried about Glenda when I can get Scarlet down the road? Retool of this. What's the point? They're just going to change the accessories and change the hair color. What's the point of buying this if you're not invested in the entire package? If you just want the Dragonfly, that's fine. That's fair. You want Wild Bill, like I do, I'm in it for the figures. The vehicles are a bonus, and I'm hoping, I don't have the His Tank now, but I'm hoping the His Tank is an enjoyable experience. But what made this line popular? The figures. I'm in it for the figures. I want the figures as well. And if you're just going to give me the figures down the road and I don't have to pay the entry fee of $200, then what's the point of the Haslab? So I'm hoping that this is just a fluke. They're not going to give us this Scarlet with this body and all that good shit. I highly doubt that that's not going to happen. I think they're going to give us a Scarlet, and it's going to be like, what was the point of buying the Dragonfly unless I really wanted the Dragonfly? You know, what's the point of the figures then? If you're just going to give us retools of the same figures, what's the point of the figures? Don't even give them to us. Just give us the Dragonfly. Give it to us with the accessories for $175 or $150 or $99 or whatever, and we call it good. What's the point? If you're going to pad it with figures that you're going to release later on, then what's the point of the figures? What's the point? You know, it's not like that Cobra Commander is going to be some kind of rare antiquity, right? That Cobra Commander, the Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander, that's not going to be a rare antiquity. There's literally going to be like 30,000 of these suckers floating around. Because think about it like this. If they only count backers and they don't count units moved, right? And let's go with people who bought 2 or 3 or 4, and they're not counting all the units that the person bought, just the backer. There could be easily 30,000 of that figure floating around, which makes it a run. That makes it a regular store run at that point, because 1,000 is exclusive. 5,000 also can be considered exclusive. 10,000 is pushing it. When you're up to over 30,000 potentially, that's a run. That's a run in stores. that's some cases going out to major markets. Like that's not exclusive, especially if you're going to redo it. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. You know, did Glenda move the needle for you? Are you, if you're buying in on the Haslab, are you excited that the figures that you wanted to get, that you paid this entry fee for, are just going to get retooled down the road? Is this something that you even care about? Let me know in the comments. Let's have some fun. Let's chop it up in the comments. Anyway, with that, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you check out the community tab. That's where I post any deals, pre-orders, and restocks I come across on the World Wide Web. And I'll also leave a link to that in the description. Also in the description is my Amazon affiliate link. It's pretty awesome. All you have to do is click on the link and buy away, and Amazon will pay me a small commission for everything you purchase. It's a great way to support the channel, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. But yeah, with that, be safe, be good, and this is the Drunken Prime cracking open another beer and signing off.